Lily sat alone in the corner of the spacious living room, her small frame curled against the sofa, and her eyes fixed on the floor as the house hummed with activity around her. And she felt the familiar anxiety creeping up her chest, because new people always made her nervous, and she did not know how to react to their presence. The door opened softly, and Emma, the new nanny, stepped in, carrying a small basket of toys and a gentle smile that tried to reach through the wall Lily had built around herself, and she knelt on the floor, at a distance, allowing Lily to observe her without pressure. And the silence in the room was heavy, as everyone else went about their chores. Days passed, and Emma never forced interaction. Instead, she read books. Near Lily spoke softly to herself about ordinary things, and moved slowly around the room, like she belonged, yet did not intrude, and Lily watched from afar, her curiosity piqued, but her fear still holding her back, and the tension in the house grew, because no one knew if Lily would ever respond. One afternoon, Emma brought a music box into the room and wound it carefully, the soft melody spilling into the air, and she sat cross-legged on the carpet and closed her eyes as if she were imagining something far away. And then she opened them and looked at Lily, and asked in a quiet voice, "Would you like to dance with me?" And Lily froze her fingers, twitching nervously, leaving the air thick with anticipation, and the house seemed to hold its breath. The other staff paused in their tasks when they heard the question, and looked toward the living room, wondering if Lily would accept or retreat further into herself. And Lily's eyes flickered toward Emma, her body rigid with hesitation, and then she slowly raised her hand, a fraction of an inch, as if testing the ground, and the moment hung delicately in the air, leaving everyone waiting for the impossible to happen. Emma did not move. She only smiled gently and reached out her hand, just a little closer, and Lily took it with trembling fingers, and the music continued to fill the room, as they began to sway lightly at first, stiffly, almost like a fragile bridge between two worlds, and the room seemed to shrink around them, as if it were holding them in a private bubble of suspense and hope. The CEO watched from the doorway, his chest tight with emotions. He had not expected this kind of connection so soon, and he noticed the tiny changes in Lily, her lips twitching into the beginnings of a smile, and the faint glimmer of trust in her eyes, and he held his breath, wondering if this fragile moment would last or shatter under the weight of fear and uncertainty. Emma guided Lily slowly across the carpet, their steps unsteady but synchronized in a rhythm that was theirs alone, and the music box wound down its melody. But Emma hummed softly to continue the cadence, and Lily's shoulders relaxed slightly, her laughter bubbling up in a delicate sound that seemed almost unreal in the silent house, leaving everyone outside the room in stunned awe. Suddenly Lily twirled on her own, and Emma clued her hand just in time, keeping her from falling, and the room seemed to erupt in invisible sparks, as Lily's eyes shone with joy she had never expressed before, and the CEO felt tears sting his eyes, because he realized that patience had broken the walls around his daughter, and the moment was so perfect it seemed impossible, and yet undeniably real, leaving everyone on edge. The door to the hallway creaked, and Lily glanced toward it instinctively, her grip on Emma's hand tightening, and Emma whispered reassuringly that she would stay with her, and Lily nodded ever so slightly, and the staff in the hallway watched in silence, wondering what would happen if someone else entered, or if Lily would retreat into her shell again. And the suspense hung thick in the air as the tiny dance continued. Emma led Lily toward the center of the room and encouraged her to take another step, and Lily did, and then another, and the rhythm became smoother, and the smile on her face widened just slightly, and the CEO could barely contain himself as he realized that this dance might be the first step toward something greater, something that could change everything. And he watched with bated breath as the room waited to see if the magic would last. The music box had stopped, but Emma hummed softly as Lily swayed with her movements, growing more confident with each step, and the CEO leaned against the doorway, watching his daughter with awe, wondering if he had ever seen her so alive, and the room felt suspended in a fragile bubble of hope and anticipation that no one dared disturbly twirled again, this time more freely, letting out a small giggle that sounded like sunlight spilling into the house, and Emma kept pace, her eyes warm and encouraging, and the staff who had gathered silently behind the doorway exchanged astonished looks because they had never imagined such a simple act could bring out a side of Lily they had only glimpsed in fleeting moments, leaving them hanging in suspense of what she might do. Next, the CEO took a cautious step forward, wanting to join the moment, but Emma shook her head gently, signaling that it was Lily's space to explore, and Lily hesitated for a heartbeat, then reached out toward her father tentatively, and he froze, unsure if she would pull back or let him in, and the entire household seemed to exhale at once, waiting for the miracle to unfold. Lily allowed him to take her other hand, and together with Emma, they formed a small triangle of trust and laughter and movement that filled the room with a warmth no one had expected, and for a moment the world outside seemed to vanish, as if the house had become a haven of connection, and the staff could barely look away, afraid to break the fragile enchantment that had blossomed in silence, leaving everyone in suspense for what would happen when the moment ended. Suddenly, the music box started again, as if sensing the energy in the room, and Lily gasped in delight, stepping closer to Emma and spinning faster, her hair flying around her face, and the CEO felt tears run down his cheeks because he had never imagined such joy could emerge from so much fear and uncertainty, and he realized that this night would be remembered forever. And yet, a question lingered: would Lily continue to open herself or retreat? Once the excitement faded, Emma noticed Lily's expression shift slightly, a shadow of doubt crossing her eyes, and she whispered softly, encouragingly, to remind Lily that she was safe, and the music swelled in rhythm with their movements, and Lily's laughter returned gradually, building a crescendo of trust and connection, and the staff leaned closer, holding their breath, wondering how far this fragile bond could grow in a single night. The house seemed to hum with anticipation as Lily suddenly broke into a full spin, her tiny body moving with unexpected grace, and Emma caught her just in time, guiding her gently back to the center, and the CEO stepped closer, slowly joining in the dance, his arms trembling as he held her close, and Lily's eyes sparkled with a mixture of curiosity and delight, leaving the room hanging on the edge of the next step in her transformation. Lily stopped suddenly mid-step and looked toward the window, the snowfall outside reflecting the soft golden light of the house, and she whispered a single word that Emma barely caught. Her father leaned in and strained to hear, and the word carried weight and promise, and the entire room waited silently for what it might mean, leaving everyone suspended in suspense. Then Lily slowly turned back toward them, her hands open and inviting, and Emma and the CEO realized that she had made a choice she had never made before, to embrace connection fully, and the house seemed to exhale as the tension melted into warmth and laughter, and tears mingled as the impossible had happened. And yet, even in that moment, a hush lingered as everyone sensed that this night would mark the beginning of a new chapter. For Lily, leaving hearts racing with hope, the trio danced together, one small step at a time, each movement cautious yet deliberate, each laugh a victory over fear, and the CEO felt a rush of gratitude. He had never imagined in his life that a simple question from a new nanny could open a world of trust and love, and the staff watched silently, knowing that they had witnessed something rare and fragile, and the night outside continued to fall quietly, leaving an echo of suspense that this miracle might be only the beginning.